The Day of Ahmed's Secret by Florence Parry Heide and Judith Heidi Gilliland.
Are you sure they're Muslims?
Well, this is a nice story. Today, I have a secret, and all day long, my secret will be like a friend to me. Tonight, I will tell it to my family. But now, I have work to do in my city. Look at this boy. Does he look like he's an adult?
Yes.
No, he's just a kid. But he said, I have work to do in the city? He's going to go work?
No.
Raise your hand if you have a job. You have a job? What's your job?
I get treats for my friends.
You get treats for your friends? That's a hard job. What's your job?
My job is taking care of, my job is sort of sorting the family out.
Sorting the family out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And pushing my dad to buy expensive things like horse riding schools.
What do you do for your family? You have a job? That's what I was saying.
I have a job, but you don't know
But it's a secret, right? Is it a secret?
No, it's invisible.
It's invisible. I forgot. Man, I knew it was invisible. Do you have a job in the city?
My job is reading for my brother.
Reading for your brother. That's a job. That's a nice job. Do you have a job in the city?
Yeah, my job is to
Learn
learn some
some sight words. That is your job. You're right. You are a student, right? But this boy, he doesn't go to school. What?
Why doesn't
I know.
he go to school?
Can I have you sit right there? Yeah, he doesn't go to school. He said he goes and works in the city. So let's find out.
Probably not going to do any work.
Okay. My donkey pulls the cart I ride on. I have many stops to make today. The streets are crowded. Everyone is going somewhere. Like me, everyone has something important to do. And they are making such a noise of it. See, everyone is so busy. They're doing their job. Some people are selling. Some people are buying. Some people are bargaining and negotiating. Look, all these things. Okay, can I have you guys sit and scoot back? And then, can everyone see good? Do you guys need to get closer so you can see better? Or you can see? Okay. You see the pictures? Okay. All kinds of sounds, maybe every sound in the world, are tangled together. Trucks and donkeys, cars and camels, carts and buses, dogs and bells, shouts and calls and whistles and laughter, all at once. So this place, if you've ever been to a place like this, like a bazaar, it's so loud. It's so crowded. There's so much happening.
It's so quiet.
I have a sound too, the sound my cart makes. Crink, 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 crink. I know my sound helps to make the whole sound of the city, and it would not be the same without me. Loudest of all to me today is the silent sound of my secret, which I have not yet spoken. I wonder what his secret is. Over all the noise, I hear my name, Ahmed, Ahmed, and my name becomes part of the city sound too. It is Hassan calling to me, another Hassan. He leans over the counter of his cart, and the bright colors of the cart mingle with the other colors of the street, the way the noises all go together to make the sound of the city. Sometimes if you sit quietly and you pay attention, you can hear all the different noises. Like if you go to big cities like San Francisco, where there's a lot of things happening, you can hear all the little different sounds of different things. Or you sit outside in nature, you can hear maybe the crickets chirping, the birds. Then you hear in the distance a coyote or a wolf or a dog barking. When we listen, we can hear all the sounds. So he's talking about how he is part of all the sounds in his city.
I went to San Francisco and saw a football game.
Very cool. My special colors are part of the city too. Woven into the harness of my donkey are my own good luck ones, blue, green, and gold. Hassan hands me a dish of beans and noodles and says, "And how goes the day of my friend, the Budagaz boy?" I don't know if I said that right. As I eat, Hassan and I laugh together at his jokes and stories. Always when I come home at sundown, I tell his stories to my family. But tonight will be different. I will have my secret to tell them. I have been saving it until tonight. Now someone else comes to Hassan's cart and I wave goodbye. I must hurry now if I am to get all my work finished today. So look, he has to go out and do a job. Like he's pulling a cart. There's a donkey that's pulling stuff. Maybe, what do you think he does? Maybe sells stuff? He has to sell stuff and make money for his family. But he looks about your age, maybe like your age. How old are you guys?
I'm
11.
7 years old. I'm 8.
You're 11?
I'm 7.
You're 7. So maybe he's like 9, 10, 11. He's not a big kid. He's about some of your ages, and he's working for his family. You're 5. The first place I go is the home of the old woman. She has been waiting for me. "Ahmed, Ahmed," she calls, "are you bringing me the fuel for my stove?" The old woman is leaning out of her window. I look up and smile. I am proud that I can carry these big, heavy bottles all the way up the steps to the floor where she lives. I am proud that I can do this work to help my family. So you see, he is doing something. His job is different than maybe your jobs. He actually has to work as his job to help his family so that they can actually pay for food and pay for their home. I make more stops, and now I am hungry again. I look for the bright red and yellow cart where I can buy my lunch, and I find it in its usual place near the old building. I buy my beans and rice and sit in the shade of the old wall. My father has told me the wall is 1,000 years old. Wow, that's old, right? And even our great-great-grandfathers were not yet born when it was built. There are many old buildings, many old walls like the one I lean against in this city. I close my eyes and have my quiet time, the time my father says I must have each day. If there are no quiet spaces in your head, it fills with noise, he has told me. He has shown me how to find my way in the city, and he has taken me to each place where I now have to bring the heavy bottles. And see, that's why Allah tells us to pray 5 times a day, because in all the noise of our life, he wants us to have some moments of quiet. So maybe that's what he's doing. In those days before I was strong enough to do this work alone, I would sit in the cart and watch my father lift and carry the bottles. One day, I told him that now I could do it by myself. He watched me try to take a heavy bottle from the cart. I could not do it, and I was ashamed. "Hurry to grow strong, Ahmed," my father said on that day. For the first time, I saw that his face had a tired look, like the faces of the old men in the city. "Hurry to grow strong," he said again, "but do not hurry to grow old." So his father needs his help. He needs him to become stronger. Now, as I lean against the old building, I think of the sea of sand that lies along our city. I have seen it stretching as far as the wind. My father says the wind carries sand all through the city to remind us that the desert is there beside us, and is a part of us. He tells me that the great desert presses against our city on one side, and the great river pushes against it on the other. We live between them, my father has said, between our 2 friends, the river and the desert.
There's quicksand.
It's quicksand?
Yeah, in the desert.
Do you know where that is?
Pyramids.
The pyramids. Where are the pyramids?
The desert.
What do you say? Egypt. Yes, these are the pyramids in Egypt. All over the world, people know of our city, he tells me, and they speak its name, Cairo. And they say the name of our great river, the Nile. And the desert, what is that called? I ask. My father shrugs and smiles. The hot winds call our desert home. He himself has never crossed the desert, but in the city are the caravans of camels and their riders who have crossed it many times, the way the boats cross and recross the river. I lean against the wall and I think of these things and of my secret, but I must finish my work before I go home. So, there's no electricity. So is he like sitting and playing Legos? No. Is he like playing with Play-Doh? No. Is he building with blocks?
No, he's working.
He is working. He's working so hard. He's working his head off. Yes. Yes, mashallah, he's working so hard. First, I try to knock the sand from my sandals. The sand is a part of each day, like the noise, like the colors of the city, like the things my father has said. On the way to my next stop, I see the boy who carries bread. From a window, a girl lowers a basket to him on a rope, and he puts some bread in the basket. Like me, he has many stops to make each day, but he is not strong enough to do what I do. No one lowers a rope to me for my heavy loads. No rope could carry what I carry. He has to carry those big bottles. It's so heavy for him. I hear the rosewater man before I see him. He clicks 2 cups together as he walks along the street so people will hear him and come to him for a drink. I give him my smile. He does not give me his, but our eyes meet and we know we are connected to the same day and to the city. I do not buy his rosewater, but seeing him has reminded me how hot and thirsty I am. I take a drink from the bottle of water I always carry in my cart. His mom is not with him, where she can say, oh, here, take a drink of water. Like I'm sure most of your moms are with you with a water bottle. You guys brought your water bottles. Or your dad has snacks for you when you get hungry. Or they have a jacket for you if you get cold. His parents are doing work too, and he's doing work. He is contributing to his family. He is helping his parents. There are more stops to make and more times up and up narrow steps with my heavy load, and then I am back in my cart. Krink, 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 krink. It is a long day. I think the moment will never come when I may share my secret. But of course, I know that each day ends and that every moment has its time to be. Finally, I am home. I want to know, what do you guys think is his secret?
He has earned so much money that they can have a fabulous life, that they can have a palace and a lot of animals and a lot of...
So you think he earned a lot of money and he's going to come and tell his family, I just earned so much money for our family. Does anybody else think they know what his secret is? It's something very special to him. Do you have an idea? Now he's strong enough to do it by himself? You forgot. It's okay. Let's see. Yeah.
He probably got a very good coin.
A very good coin. Let's see what he says. Finally, I am home. It is sundown. It is the time of day when you cannot tell a white thread from a black one. So it's like Maghrib time or Isha time maybe. My mother has already lighted the lanterns. Everyone is waiting for me. Instead of telling them about my day, I say, look, I have something to show you. It is time to tell my secret. I take a deep breath. I wonder what it is. Look, I say, look, I can write my name. How many of you can write your names?
Well, I can.
Do you know why you can write your name?
Because I went to school.
Because you went to school. Do you know why you get to go to school?
Because it's illegal to not let your kids go to school. It's seriously.
Lower? Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
your parents go to jail.
Okay, so maybe it's illegal for you not to go to school? Okay.
It's seriously illegal. Your
But-
parents go to jail.
But let me tell you something. Okay, you put your name so everyone knows who you are. So you are so blessed that your parents, they work very hard so that you don't have to work. Because there's kids in some parts of the world, and maybe you've never been to those countries, where the kids don't get to go to school. They actually have to go to work because if they don't work, they don't have food. Their family won't have food. Their family won't be able to pay for their home. Their family won't be able to pay for new clothes or shoes or books. Oh, forget about books. That's like something that is a privilege to have. So he has this secret that he on his own learned how to write his name. Something that all of you have been so fortunate to learn because you get to go to school, because your parents work very hard for you. So what a blessing. Can everybody say Alhamdulillah? That you already know how to write your name and you know how to read. You probably know, some of you probably know how to read English and Arabic and maybe other languages, who knows? But he is so proud that he works hard for his family, and then on his own, he learned how to write his name because that was important to him.
But I already know how to write my name.
Yeah. And say, when you go home, say thank you to your mama and your baba, that they work hard for you, that you could go to school instead of having to work hard too. So I write my name over and over as they watch, and I think of my name now lasting longer than the sound of it, maybe even lasting like the old buildings in the city 1,000 years. So our time is up. I had more books because it's kind of endless how much you should honor your parents and be so grateful to them, be so appreciative to them. You know what? One time I went to a lecture, and you know what the lecturer told me? And he was talking to adults. He said, when you see your parents, and you know what, for me, I haven't seen my parents in a few months. Have you guys not seen your parents in a few months? No. I met someone the other day, she said, yeah, I miss my parents. I haven't seen them for 3 years because they live in another country and she lives here. And my dad, when we moved to the United States, he hadn't seen his parents for like 9 years before he got to go back because he was working so hard so that he could put food on our table so we could go to school. So be so grateful for your parents. But that teacher, what he told us is when you go home and you see your parents, kiss their feet. That's how much you should honor your parents. That you should love and respect and honor your parents so much for everything that you do, that they do for you, that you should go and kiss their feet and say, Mama, Baba, what can I do for you? I want to do something for you now. Because now you guys are older, you can do stuff. But you're lucky, you don't have to work hard like this boy.